Welcome to another episode of the Sunburnt Country Music New Releases podcast or podcast episode, depending on how you're listening to this, because I'm not splicing it up on the audio stream, but it is a different podcast on YouTube. So you may be watching me, and if you are, you'll see that I actually have a microphone visible. I usually put the microphone out of range when I'm interviewing because I just think it looks better, and the audio is not too bad, but when I was making the first episode, I discovered that the audio tracks have quite high volume on them, and my vocal track was a little lower, and I'm not technically savvy enough to try to work out how to equalize that in the mix. So I'm trying to record the audio a little more loudly, and then maybe it'll all work out. We will find out. So when I made that first episode, I flagged that I thought it might be a little ambitious for me to attempt to do these weekly, and that has immediately proven true because it's been about 3 weeks, I think, since my first episode. But it also depends on what's being released and on my time. I didn't have time actually to make a new episode until now, but there were also some songs I wanted to talk to you about now that weren't available 3 weeks ago. That's how I'm rationalizing it to myself. Believe me if you want to believe me. So the first song I'd like to talk to you about is Queen of Hearts by Faith Williams. Now, Faith is an artist from the Central Coast of New South Wales who has released her debut EP, which is called Queen of Hearts. So this is the title track I'm going to play for you here. The EP was produced by Brandon Dodd at the Rabbit Hole Recording Studio, which is also on the Central Coast. Some of you may know Dodd as he is a long-time member of Casey Chambers' band, and indeed Casey herself was involved in the making of this EP along with her father Bill Chambers and musicians Duncan Toombs, Golden Guitar winner, Jeff McCormack and Sid Green. Faith has said of the EP that every song comes from the heart. I hope it connects with anyone that takes the time out of their day to listen, the same way as the lyrics connected with me. So here is the title track of Queen of Hearts. If you are listening on the audio, if you are watching me, then I'm just going to put the link into the notes below and you can go to the video of it. Could be just a static image with an audio track as it often is on YouTube, but you know what I mean. So please go and find it if you are watching me. As you can tell, I'm not doing a different recording for the audio and for the video because time, that's the way it goes. And if you're listening to this and you're used to me, then hopefully you don't mind me chattering away because you're getting a bit of it. So the next track is Just Give It a Crack by Tom Curtin. Now, I know nothing about this song other than that it could be Curtin's life motto, at least in my opinion. I've interviewed Tom Curtin and he absolutely takes life by the horns and gives things a crack. Throughout the year, he runs the Catherine Outback Experience in the Northern Territory. In the dry season, winter, as some of us down south know it, he is at home. In the wet season, he takes it on the road, and that means taking horses, dogs, and humans with him. Another artist I've interviewed, Laura Frank, has been touring with Tom Curtin, and the recent interview I did with her on Sunburnt Country Music was recorded while she was actually on the road with Curtin. So if you want an inspiring anthem to help you give things a crack, I reckon this is the one. Tom Curtin is a really interesting artist and very popular as well. I can tell you from the search terms on my website that he is very popular. He's one of the main reasons people find my website through search. Next up is the artist Katelann Maree, who has a song called Australia My Home. Now, Katelann Maree is from the Western Downs of Queensland, and I think she has such a great way with words. That's where I was going. 2 W's. I almost tripped myself up. And then I've made it worse by pointing it out to you, but she has a great way with words and melody, as evidenced on her 2020 EP, A Different Kind of High. She is from a musical family. Her mother, Sharon Greeley, is an artist, and her grandfather, Jimmy Greeley, was too. Katelann's songs always have something extra to them, so each time she releases something, I pay attention. This time it is the song Australia My Home. Now, there are several country music songs that pay tribute to this wide brown land, and I was curious to hear Katelann's take, because you just never know with a song that's about Australia. Sometimes it can sound a bit cheesy, sometimes, a bit too nostalgic. I actually think she has done a fantastic job on this song. It is as genuine and heartfelt as I expected, and while it names several things that we would all recognise, it does tell a story and it really draws you into the images she evokes. So I think she's a really great artist. This is actually the first of four, really twisting my words around. This is the first of four new original tunes to be released throughout 2025 by Katelann Maree as part of the Western Downs Regional Arts Development Fund grant, which was supported by the Queensland Government through Arts Queensland. And Katelann hasn't just released a song this year, she has released a child. She gave birth to her third child on New Year's Day. The next artist to talk about is Jen Mize, who has a new song called Neon and Nothin Else. Jen is a fantastic person to interview as well as being a fantastic artist. Her voice, whether recorded or live, is just this extraordinary instrument. It's really captivating. So if you have the chance to see her live or listen to her recorded as you're about to do, you should take it. She's also been very involved in supporting emerging artists, including taking part in Song Muster in Queensland, where she teaches and writes songs with those emerging artists. Neon and Nothin Else, her new single, was inspired by the popular series Yellowstone, which stars Kevin Costner and in Australia is available on Stan. This is not a plug, but if Stan were to ever hear this and wish to contact me, they can. I hear other podcast hosts saying things like that, so I thought I'd better. So Jen says of the song, being such a fan of the show, I started writing songs as if they were part of the series. I thought it would be a cool exercise to write as if I was given a brief from the show's producers. Neon and Nothin Else came out of me like a whirlwind after rewatching season 1 not long ago and paying a close attention to the tension between Beth and Rip. So the character Beth is the daughter of the character played by Kevin Costner. They have what amounts to the eternal Western love story. Now, if you've seen Yellowstone, you will know what Jen means, but I don't think you need to have seen Yellowstone to like this song. Anything Jen Mize sings is going to be good. It's pretty much a guarantee. And you can hold me to it. I'm prepared to be held to it. The next artist to tell you about is Andrew Swift. But I probably don't need to tell you about Andrew because he is really well known. He is a 3-time Golden Guitar winner. He's had 3 albums that have been number 1 on the ARIA charts. And he also tours regularly. In fact, he's just started a 5-state tour. The new single is called Nothing Better, and I actually just interviewed Andrew about the song and about the tour. So you can keep an eye on the podcast for that interview. Andrew is about to become a father for the first time, and that was partly the inspiration behind this song. As he says, it feels like not long ago I was mentally preparing to be fixing caravans and living life as a single man until the end of my days. I didn't think that being a full-time musician, homeowner, having a loving partner and a baby on the way would be on the cards, but here we are. Sometimes life blindsides you in the best way possible. The song was written at the APRA Melbourne Nashville Song Hub's sessions in Nashville, Tennessee, and was the creation of Swift, Lindsay Rhymes, and Tyler James Bellinger. It was produced by Matt Fell, with whom Swift has worked on all 3 of his albums. There's also a lovely music video made by the very popular Jeremy Minette of Eyes and Ears Creative. As I mentioned, Andrew is on tour, and there are too many dates to list here, but he is in Victoria, Queensland, Tasmania, Western Australia, and New South Wales, and you can go to his website for the details. I will close on a slower, softer song, but one that still packs a lot of power. It is by Rachael Fahim, and it is called Good Luck. Now, I saw Rachael perform this song, which is a country pop single, live in Sydney while she was supporting Dean Lewis on his national tour. She told the story on stage of how she wrote the song after she was dumped by a boyfriend so that he could get back together with his ex-girlfriend. She then took the story into a session at a writing camp, and during the writing of it, she became a bit overcome by emotion. She had to retreat to the bathroom, where she tearily told the whole story to a friend, not realizing that the song's subject was in the adjoining stall because it was a unisex bathroom. As she says, it was mortifying, but it really gave me the drive to go back into the room and write the rest of the lyrics. It was so hard to pull all that out of myself, but I knew we had nailed the song, and it gave me closure on the whole experience. Rachael has said of songwriting in general that it is like my diary. I might be letting people in too deep, but I just have to be vulnerable. When I write about heartbreak and other things I've been through, it's like I've taken the weight of those feelings and experiences off me and captured them into the song. Rachael also has some shows coming up. She's playing on Friday, February the 7th in Sydney at the Vanguard. She will then be going to the ACT, playing it live at the Polo in Canberra on the 8th. She's playing at the Wheatsheaf in Adelaide, the Wesleyan in Melbourne, the Stag and Hunter in Newcastle, otherwise known as Newey, and the Bird in Northbridge, Western Australia. You can find those dates on her website. So I'm going to leave you with Rachael, Fahim, and good luck. And I hope you enjoy this new releases episode. I'm always happy to hear some feedback, preferably along the lines that you are enjoying it. If not, that's okay. I don't mind. I'm putting this out so that these songs can be heard by people, hoping to give you some context for the songs, because I think that we all like to know a bit about our artists and the songs they write and stories behind those songs. So here is Rachael Fahim. Thank you for joining me. I hope to have another episode out very soon, but in the meantime, there will be interviews on the Sunburnt Country Music interview podcast. See you around.